I know this is going to make me seem like a cranky, fussy old man, but you see, that's what I am, so there's little damage done there. And there are days when I'm tired or not feeling so well or things are not going my way. You realize that if you combine all these factors, they would include every single day. And on such days, pick any one, I am crankier and fussier. Here's my complaint. In short, I'll file it under corporate behavior. I'll go into a store, grocery store, a hardware store, big box store, coffee shop, any store, and someone, an employee, will approach me and say, "May I help you?" Now, I know they're only being polite, and I know they've been instructed by their supervisors, who have been instructed by their supervisors, to say this to every person who enters the store, in a cheerful manner, under pain of separation, should they fail to do so. I know this, but it still offends me. May I help you? Of course you can help me. What else are you going to do? You're being paid solely for that purpose. That's the only reason you're here. To ask, "May I help you?" is ridiculous. It has no meaning. It's completely superfluous and something only an idiotic supervisor would come up with, and worst of all, it forces me to say yes. I'd rather walk in and place my order without being hit with that question, and I get it every time I walk into any store, over and over. May I help you? When I hear it, on one of those days when I'm less than my noble self, what I want to say is, "Yes, wow, you can help me. How good of you to inquire. I've got to put a new roof on my home, and there's no way I can do it alone." Or, "Yes, you can help me. I seem to be about $3,000 short in my bank account, and it'd be a big help if you could loan me that money at a low interest, or no interest, or heck, if you want to really help me out, just give it to me, okay? And thanks. Thanks for asking." Another pointy-headed question is, "What can I do for you?" Well, what do you think? How about a backflip with 2 full twists? How about 10 minutes of deep tissue neck and shoulder massage? What can I do for you? Take off all your clothes and quack like a duck. Here's another one. A fellow I know went to pick up some prescriptions at a pharmacy in a grocery store. A pharmacist. What do they really do now? All the drugs are already made. A pharmacist counts the number of pills that go into each bottle. A pharmacist promises not to steal drugs and sell them on the street for pocket money. I don't know how many years of schooling that would take to become a pharmacist. I know, I'm being cranky. My friend is waiting for his prescriptions. A half hour goes by. He's thinking, maybe they've forgotten me. He goes to the window and asks, "Have you got my prescriptions?" "We're working on it, sir," is what he's told. He waits another 30 minutes. He's been there for an hour. He thinks that's enough time to put pills into bottles. It's enough time to steal the drugs and sell them on the street for pocket money. He goes to the window and says, "Is there a problem?" "No, sir," he's told. "We're working on it." He goes back and sits for another 30 minutes. All this time he's waiting to hear his name called. He's wondering what happened to "May I help you?" and "What can I do for you?" He's been there for an hour and a half. Enough time, surely, to count the pills into bottles. Enough time to make the medicine from scratch, to go out, find the plant, bring it back, dry it, pound it into a powder, compress that into a pill, and count the pills into a bottle. Done. One of the pharmacists comes out, a man, middle-aged, and he sees this guy sitting in a chair where he'd seen him before, well over an hour ago. And he goes over to him and he says, "Are you still waiting?" Again, only attempting an act of kindness. My friend looked at him and said, "No, I'm not waiting. As a matter of fact, I'm not. I was waiting, but now I'm not. I'm just sitting here. It's warm and dry. This chair is comfortable. The people around here are very friendly, and do you know what? I think if there was a TV on, tuned into some sports or a good show, and if I could latch onto a cold beer, I don't think I'd ever leave. I like it here." "Are you still waiting?" the man asked him. I know. He was only trying to be polite. And my friend is like me, just a cranky, fussy old man, especially after he's been sitting on his ass for an hour and a half.